Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Addiction Solutions with Roselle. So glad that you could join me again for another show. I tell you at the beginning of each segment, go to my YouTube channel and click on subscribe. It's free, and you can get access to all of the prior videos. Now, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your co-workers, church members, whoever it may be, to also go to Addiction Solutions with Roselle, click on subscribe, and they will also have access to this information. Last week, we talked about jails and institutions, and I want to continue with that part of the stop sign because it's very, very, very important. Now, a lot of people think that jail is a deterrent. Well, okay, it could be in the beginning that individuals were scared straight. If they did some DUI, it might have stopped them. They went before the judge, and the judge told them blah 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 blah, and they got scared, and maybe they never did it again. But there are individuals with multiple DUIs, and so in some of my other segments, I covered this, where I had people in my groups when I did outpatient therapy that the judge sent them there. They were angry, they were upset. And I always told them, you had a choice. What choice? You could have went to jail. You don't have to be here. As a matter of fact, you can go to jail right now. I'll just send a letter to the judge telling them that, and so that stops that argument about them being upset and angry, And so the judge can do one or two things. He can let you slide, which I'm not the judge, so I can't tell the judge what to do, or he can make it hard on you the first time. This is jail that we're talking about. Now, in some of the other episodes, I told you about some of the penalties that, they would do in the jail segment. You had to pay your attorney, depending on what attorney you got, it depended on the cost. You had to pay court costs. You had to pay a fine. You had to pay me. Insurance companies weren't paying for that. Now, the ones that had multiples, they came up with other ways. They were creative. They say, okay, let them go to work. And when they get off work, let them come back to jail. And when they get back, I told you this in some other segments, we'll take a urine analysis and a breathalyzer, and we'll feed them, and we'll put them in their cell, and they have to pay us for that. So just say, for instance, a guy makes $1,000 a week, and he's got other bills. There's taxes, insurance, everything's coming out of his check. By the time the smoke clear, he's sitting on maybe $150. Is that rational? To work all those hours and you only got $150? But you continue to break the law. We're not talking about continue to drink. You continue to break the law. And when I say break the law, I'm saying that you continue to drive a vehicle under the influence. Nobody's saying you can't drink. If you don't think you're an alcoholic, this is my suggestion, and this is what I used to tell all of my clients. If you don't think you're an alcoholic, go down in your basement, get you some handcuffs, handcuff yourself to a pole, and just drink. And you be close to a bathroom, because depending on what you drink, if it's beer or alcohol or wine or whatever, you're gonna definitely need to relieve yourself. So you need to be close to a bathroom. So this way, what I'm trying to say, the point is, you're not driving a car. So nobody can do anything to you. Now, that's the drinking part. The drug part generally carries criminal offenses that are heavier than drinking. So if I'm a heroin addict, crack addict, my crimes are, as I said last week, I'm breaking and entering, I'm robbing, robbery armed. And so when I get caught, I could be robbing a bank, I could, hold up a credit union or whatever. Those penalties are a little stiffer than drinking and driving, you know. So you could get some time, real time. And I'm talking about 5 to 20, depending on what you did, especially if somebody got hurt in the process of your criminal activity. So that's jail. And trust me, you can go to jail for credit card fraud, for writing bad checks. It doesn't necessarily have to be just drinking and drugging. You can definitely do some damage with bad checks and credit card fraud. But we know that there's substance abuse, the chemicals, generally lead to heavier jail time. Now, the institutions, we talked about mental illness, the underlying issues that are generally discovered once an individual detoxes and gets sober. Then we begin to see, other underlying issues that need to be addressed. And so institutions, along with the system, insurance companies, hospitals, mental health issues, outpatient therapy, inpatient therapy, they got together and decided that it was costing too much money to repeatedly keep sending people to these facilities. So they had to change the whole procedure. They had to change it. They had to have people that did investigations, that did analysis of the individual. They did an intake to decide if this person needed this or that type of treatment, to try to cut down on the cost, because the cost was astronomical. So we're going to leave it right there. Now, I want to do one more segment on jails and institutions before I get into recovery. And after recovery, I'm going to do some excerpts from both of my books, and I'm going to do some excerpts from my workbooks. We're not done. Please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to Addiction Solutions with Roselle. I hope to see you next week. I hope that you have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Good night.